Hi, Sergeant Stepdad here. I decided I'd make another video since a lot of things that's been happening in this world, and I know how everyone feels being cooped up in your home. I started working my sort of regular job from home and spent a lot of time at home, and there is things you can do to help with cabin fever. I mean, I go out. I actually built my own fire pit to kind of have that camping kind of feel. That way, it's one thing to get out of the house. I've also gone on bike rides, walks, all sorts of things can be done as long as you're allowed to do them. I mean, where I live, I'm allowed to go out and do that kind of stuff. And the fact that I live in a smaller town, I'm less likely to run into other people. And the government's been trying to help. I don't take sides on this unless it comes down to what the Constitution says. I believe in the Constitution. That is why it's there, is we are allowed to do and say what we can that's within it, like the right to keep and bear arms, the right to have your own opinions. I'm okay with whatever opinions you have, as long as you do not force them on me. And I won't force my opinions on you. But when you get to the point where you're delaying help for those who need it because you want to get special projects of yours done, that is wrong. You can go after your special projects after this pandemic is done. And I personally believe that if anything you want to attach to a bill that's being put through Congress, if it does not have anything to do with the bill that is going through, it should not be allowed to be in it. Now, there's other things like people claiming to be bullied or people actually being bullied. I hate bullies because of this kind of stuff. Because bullies will use whatever they can to get people to do what they want them to do, which is wrong. People are entitled to have their own opinions. People can state facts that they've noticed about other people, but if it's continuously belittling them every day, not just a comment here and there, that is bullying and harassment. But you can't just say, oh, this person said a couple comments about me that I don't like them saying about me, and call it bullying and harassment. But if they were doing it directly to you all the time over periods of a couple weeks, then yes, it's bullying and harassment. But if it's just every now and then, or just once, that is not necessarily bullying and harassment. It's just making a comment about what they've noticed of you. And I do make comments about people every now and then, about their personality, not about their looks. It's about their personality. If they're a bad person, I'm going to call them a bad person. But you got to understand on this part that you look like the bad person when you go after an individual that makes a remark or a comment about something you do. And anyone that follows you on a social platform that follows you and does that you need to step up and do something about it, because you should not tolerate that stuff from anyone that follows you. I won't tolerate it. I mean, if you want to call me a name at one point in time, I'm not gonna go after you. I'm gonna say, okay, that's your point of view. But if you come and attack my family or threaten lives, that's a whole different story. If you're threatening an individual and their family, you might want to take a look at yourself personally before you decide to continue that line of talk towards that person. Because eventually, that could be used as evidence to say you actually are threatening their lives, and they could have the police come and talk to you about that. And after that, let's get back to the pandemic. I know different states have their issues, but you can't just say this is okay, like going to Walmart and Walmart being crowded is okay, and people sitting in a church parking lot in their cars listening to a sermon over their radios is wrong. Because there is nothing wrong with that. They are practicing their social distancing. At Walmart, you've got people 6, 7, maybe even 8 people within 3, 4 feet of each other in an aisle. You've got to find a uniformity where the people can do what they need to do during the day to survive, and if they are practicing their social distancing, there should be no fine or penalty for that. And if you keep pushing that, I think you are going to end up losing your position of authority, because they're going to get tired of it and they'll vote you out of office. There's always going to be stuff I've got to worry about when it comes to my kids as well. I'm the only one in this house, in my family, that has the healthiest immune system. And I'm the one that goes out, goes to the store, picks up groceries and stuff like that. Yes, my job requires me to work at home. Well, not required, but says I can work from home. My wife doesn't, so she's got to go into work every day. I mean, literally, she's always going to work, and she's there. They have their procedures for trying to keep from getting contaminated. I mean, where I live, yes, we don't have as near as great amount as those in other places. And I'm telling you this, from my perspective, this pandemic is concentrated into larger cities, where you got more people crowded together than out in smaller towns. Where I live, it's about a couple miles, and you get to from one end of town to the other edge of town. And we do have gas stations, a grocery store, and we can go out and visit some of the public parks for a little bit. Let our children play in the park if we wanted to. But we are practicing our social distancing. Some people were actually wearing protective gear, like masks and gloves. But we will get through this. I mean, we as a community are working on getting through this, and we'll eventually get there. It just may take a little bit. But we can't also keep everything closed up because of this, because if we do, our economy's going to suffer a lot. And I'm a strong believer in all our companies that move to China should move back here to the United States because of the issues that have come from there. I'm not saying completely destroy China's economy. I'm just saying we need to concentrate on our own economy and work on fixing issues. And China needs to work on their own issues as well. I don't have anything against the civilians there. I've met some Chinese people. They're nice people. It's more of we need to exactly find out the exact location of where this originated and make sure it doesn't happen again. I'm actually going to say this. I have $2 and a son that's only 5 months old. And I worry about them on what they're going to have to deal with in their future. Because I want them to have the same freedom I had when growing up. The right to go out and play without worrying about someone telling them they're wrong, or they can't be there, or say their opinion. I want them to have freedom of choice. Doesn't mean I want them to go wild and go out and hurt people. I want them to have the freedom of choice to follow their dreams, be able to be happy about who they are. And as I'm gonna keep on saying, when it comes to family, whether they're always going to be considered family, whether they're blood, adopted, a step of any kind, or even just a really good family friend. They're a really good friend. They're family. Like I feel that, like the way I feel about a lot of the people I serve with. They're not just a fellow service member. They are family. And you gotta watch out for your family. And you gotta do what is right within the Constitution and what you feel is right for your family. But you cannot make your feelings for your family. What you feel is right for your family is right for everyone. You cannot determine what's right for everyone. And until next time, I hope you take some of this to heart and try to spend time with your family. I will see you later.